You're good.
Already jumped. Remember.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. It's the 2025 Lacey Township Board of Ed reorganization meeting. Everybody rise. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of the reorganization meeting was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon on January 11th, 2024, and as amended on January 8th, 2025, and by posting the notice in the Forked River and Lenoka Harbor post offices, and by filing a copy of the notice with the Lacey Township Clerk as required by the Open Public Meeting Law. All right, we're going to start with the oath of office, and we're going to start with Sal Armato.
Got my Bible.
You're up there, so.
I know, but there's no Bible. Hold on. My Bible with my heart.
There you go.
Right.
Raise your right hand.
Okay.
I
I, Salvatore Amato,
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I do.
I
Salvatore Amato,
do solemnly affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and just perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I do. That's it?
I was just going to ask him to repeat it all.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. It's like, yeah, she's going a little fast. One or two sentences, but not not the whole phrase.
Now, we can call you a one-term. Does it matter?
I
Harold Peters Jr.
do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I, Harold William Peters Jr.
Do solemnly affirm that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations. Jack, skip up.
Yeah, I was trying to think 7 or 8.
Yeah, I knew it was a large number.
Yeah.
All right, we will now do the roll call of the newly affirmed board. Cheryl Armato,
Here.
Sal Armato,
Here.
Dan Bell,
Here.
Jack Conity,
Here.
Kim Claus. Here. Harold Peters,
Present.
and Linda Walker.
Present.
Now we're going to do nominations and election of president. Do we have any nominations for president?
Nominate Kim Klaus, please.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations?
I nominate Sal Armato.
Okay. Any others? Can I get a motion to close nominations?
Motion Peters.
Second.
Okay. And we'll do the votes for Mrs. Claus. All right, Mrs. Armato?
No.
Mr. Armato?
No.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Claus, you are president.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. Sure. Okay, now we're going to take nominations for vice president. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Conity.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, I'd like to close nominations. Can we have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second, anybody?
Second, Peters.
Thank you. Roll call?
Okay. Mrs. Armato?
Can I comment too, or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm voting no, not because I don't think Jack's qualified, because I do. I'm just voting no because only 5 of the 7 board members were consulted, and I was excluded from the process. If my input isn't valued in leadership decisions, I can't support this choice.
Mr. Armato?
No, for the same reasons.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yep.
And Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Conity.
Is Bruce coming today for ethics training?
He will not be here. He is going to be on the screen.
Oh, okay. I think we're ready, if he's ready.
Do you guys want to go in the audience?
Sure.
It'll be easier for you to see.
What are we doing?
We're going to watch your ethics training to be remote. Bruce is remote. Sort of.
Thank you.
He's froze already when you started.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to make this video to provide a brief overview of the School Ethics Act and satisfy our statutory requirements to cover that at our reorganization meeting. You will see it on your agenda to adopt the Code of Conduct for school board members, and we're going to do a brief overview of school ethics. I know everyone had training this past fall on school ethics, so this training will just be a very brief refresher. There's 2 sections of law where our school ethics body of law comes from. There's the School Ethics Act and the Code of Ethics for school board members. We are going to focus on the Code of Ethics for school board members. But first, who enforces the act and these 2 statutes? They are enforced by the School Ethics Commission, which provides you with advisory opinions and adjudicates school ethics complaints. The Code of Ethics for school board members is a bunch of I statements, meaning I will do this, I will not do that, etc. You can read through them. I'm not going to read them here. There's a list of A through J, and it talks about how you're going to act as an individual board member. And the key there is individually, the board members cannot act. They have no authority. Your only authority to act is when you're sitting together, a quorum of the board, making a decision as a deliberative body, usually upon the recommendation of the chief school administrator. When you review the Code of Ethics for school board members, you will see that they generally require you to act as a whole and refrain from acting individually or making promises. The chief school administrator of your district, the superintendent, is the only one that acts administratively. You as a body are the owners of the school district. Think of the school district as a ship, and you own that ship. You set the destination for the ship, and your chief school administrator is the captain of that ship and guides you to the destination. He or she is empowered by the Department of Education to make those decisions and recommendations to drive the ship where you want it to be. Significantly, however, as members of the community and elected officials, it is your destination that matters, but it's the chief school administrator's job to get and steer you to that destination. You as board members do not have the authority to steer the ship, only to set the destination. When we're talking about school ethics, it really can be summarized as the 4 C's. And those 4 C's are confidentiality, chain of command, conflict of interest, and communication. Confidentiality is one of the most key parts of the 4 C's. You as board members obtain a lot of information about students, about personnel matters, about things that the general public is not aware of. The general public knows that you have this information and will often ask you questions about this information. It is imperative that things remain confidential. What's said in executive session must remain an executive session. If you learn of something through a committee meeting or some other meeting that's confidential, it must remain confidential. There's several reasons for that. One, it protects you and the district from revealing information that may be harmful or somehow hurt a member of the community, a student, or a staff member. Thus, confidentiality is important. Releasing confidential information could result in an ethics violation, could result in a lawsuit with monetary damages. Thus, confidentiality is key. Second is chain of command. People in the community will often come to you and want to see results. Again, as the owner of the ship, you do not have authority to implement results, but the members of the community, whether it be a parent or a student, has to follow the chain of command. The chain of command for a student, for example, starts in the classroom. It goes from the teacher to the principal, maybe an intermediate supervisor before the principal, then from the principal to an assistant superintendent directly to the superintendent, and then eventually to the Board of Education. Things have to follow the chain of command. And why that's important is you have a lot on your plate as board members, as the administrators of the district. If every little matter jumps immediately to the board level or the superintendent level, it detracts your time from attending to the things that you have to attend to. Things should get resolved at the lowest level possible where the parties are actually involved in the matter. Thus, following the chain of command is important. If anybody comes to you in the supermarket or wherever the case might be, refer them to the chain of command. Did you talk about it with your student's principal? Did you talk about it with the teacher? Did you go to our superintendent? Things have to start at the lowest level possible. Conflict of interest. We don't expect you to be an expert on conflicts of interest. Just be aware of a situation that may arise. That's why I'm here. Sharon is here. Will is here to help you through those conflicts of interest. Whenever you think you have some sort of relationship, whether it be a familial relationship, a business relationship, a contractual relationship, or even a close friend or neighbor relationship, come to us. We will help guide you through that conflict of interest or determine that it is not a conflict of interest and help you through that. Most importantly also is communication. Everybody must communicate. Communicate things through your board president, through the superintendent, through me if there's any issues. Open communication tends to nip things in the bud and does not let things fester. So those 4 C's are how I kind of view the Code of Ethics for school board members and all those I statements of I will do this, I will not do that. It really all comes down to these 4 things, and if you remember the 4 C's, you'll stay out of trouble. Those are confidentiality, chain of command, conflict of interest, and communication. Any questions, please let me know. Thank you and have a great year.
Bigger points for that one? No.
Oh, that was too
Bigger points for the ones we're doing in the next. We're all there.
Okay, next we're going to move on to resolutions 1 through 5. Code of Ethics, Combined Statement of Results 2024, Parliamentary Procedures, Board Bylaws, Policy and Regulations, and the meeting schedule. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, Peters?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
And Mrs. Walker?
Yes. Okay, now I'll be appointing the committees. Finance and Operations Committee, this is Facilities, Finance, Food Services, Personnel, Technology, Transportation, and Township Liaison. Chairperson, Jack Conity. Other board members, Skip Peters and myself. Alternate, Sal Armato. Policy Committee, which is Policy, Co-Curricular, Safety and Security, LT, ASA Liaison. Chairperson, Dan Bell. Jack Conity, and myself, alternate Linda Walker. Curriculum Committee. Curriculum, Health and Wellness, Communication Relations, LTEA Liaison. Chairperson, Linda Walker, Sal Armato, and Cheryl Armato, with the alternate Jack Conity. Negotiations for Ad Hoc Committee for the Child Study Team. Chairperson, Cheryl Armato, with Jack Conity and myself. For negotiations and Ad Hoc Committee for the LTEA, Chairperson, Sal Armato, Dan Bell, and Cheryl Armato.
Wait, one's passed.
Yep. And Dan.
This is right, Jack. Jack and Sal, that is right.
You're the chair, Jack and myself.
Okay. Oh, yourself?
Yep. Okay, referendum and the superintendent search, we're going to keep that the same. So Skip Peters is the chairperson, Linda Walker, Sal Armato. The alternate is Jack Conity. The superintendent search and ad hoc committee, Skip Peters is the chairperson, myself and Cheryl Armato. The delegates and alternates, the NJSBA delegate, Dan Bell, alternate, Jack Conity, and the OCSBA delegate, Skip Peters, and the alternate, Linda Walker. Any questions, or did you get all that, Sharon? Got it. Okay. All right, next we're going to move on to public comment. An audience member wishing to make a comment will raise his or her hand when called upon to state their name, address, or affiliation and intention to make a statement. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be made one issue at a time. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. No audience member shall be recognized twice until all have wished to comment will be recognized. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only, and there will be no questions answered. The purpose of this meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there is a question for the board, there is an established chain of command to follow. Does anybody have a public comment? Go ahead, Regina.
Good evening, Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. I did send an email this morning to everyone, and my question is, and I know it won't be answered right now, I was hoping to see the topic on tonight's agenda. Has a time been determined yet for the January 28th referendum information session? I noticed that nothing is noted on the current website calendar for the school district. Thank you.
6:30. 6:30, Mr. Senza.
6:30?
6:30. 6:30 to 8:30.
Still kind of early.
6:30 to 8:30.
Thank you.
28th, January 28th.
And I emailed you back.
It's okay. Any other public comments? Okay, I'm going to close public comment. We have executive session, but I don't know if there's any issues to discuss, so, no? Okay. I don't think so. All right, board comments. Dan Bell, let's start with you.
Looking forward to another year.
Okay. Ms. Armato?
Congratulations, everyone, and I'm looking forward to this year.
Mr. Armato?
I have nothing to add, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Walker?
Just a happy new year to everyone, and thank you, Skip, for your year as president, and Kim as vice president. It was a tough year that you went through, to say the least, so thank you and congratulations for ending it finally. Sorry, Kim, you're on your beginning. But thank you.
Thank you all board members for the support as board president for the year. We had a very challenging year. We have some more challenging years coming up. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Amato on his win and being sworn in tonight, and wish everybody a happy new year. Thank you.
Mr. Conity?
Congratulations, everybody, and that's it.
Okay. And I'd like to congratulate everybody, too, and thank you for the nomination. I appreciate it. We do have a long year ahead of us, a lot to accomplish, but I feel like we can all get through it together. So thank you. And Mr. Zelinski, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I appreciate all the time that we spent together this year, Mr. Peters.
Our 4:15 a.m.
Yeah, I
phone
know.
call
I know,
yesterday.
great. And I look forward to your leadership, Ms. Claus. As your acting superintendent, we do have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of budget challenges. We have a lot going on. We have a referendum coming up, as Mr. Senza pointed out. We'll have our big community forum on January 28th. from 6:30 to 8:30. It'll be centered around the auditorium. We're going to have some different stations and things going on. All of the public is invited, and I do invite all the public to start looking at our website. If you go to laceyschools.org, we have a lot of referendum information that's getting updated daily. It's going to be on our Facebook, on our Instagram pages, so you'll get a lot of information there leading up to our March 11th vote. So we have a lot to do in 2 months for that, and this board has a lot to do, and I appreciate all of you, and good luck to everyone. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Claus.
This is-
President Claus.
Thank you. This is probably the easiest meeting we're going to have all year, so I'm going to soak it in.
Whoa, maybe not.
It's 20 minutes. All right, that's it. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to close
Second.
Peters.
Yay.
Any roll call on that?
There's all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.